Alright, what's up guys and welcome to this new video. So this video is gonna be a new player introduction, a feature overview if you will, of Azeroth Wars. So basically what to expect when you first play Azeroth Wars, what makes the map special. So first of all, we'll just watch the opening cinematic together and yeah, then we'll talk more about it.
Welcome, Prince Arthas. The men and I are honored by your presence.
Can the formalities, Uther. I'm not king yet. It's good to see you.
You too, lad. I'm pleased that King Terran has sent you to help me.
Look, here's where we stand. Our scouts have confirmed that there is an orc encampment hidden somewhere over the next ridge.
As I suspected.
It gets worse. They're preparing to attack the nearby village of Strombrad. As far as we know, the village is completely defenseless.
Damn. These orcs will never surrender. Now, if you're feeling up to it, I want you to lead the attack.
Me? Well, of course. I won't fail you.
I know you won't, lad.
Alright, so this was the opening cinematic for the Dalaran faction. So, as you guys can see, it puts you in context, right? So here's my army, and I'm fighting these guys over here, right? And they're gonna go here first. So, it's just a quick context. It's like many games like Total War, where it gives you, like, it shows you a bit around your base. So, right away, you can see quest discovered. So if we go on F9, here is some map information, and here you see quest. So every faction has a quest system that are automatically generated for objectives. So let's say I need to survive 15 minutes and then I get Gyarados. Or if I control Arthas and I destroy the Frozen Throne and I bring Arthas there, then I get a reward. Stuff like that.
Justice shall be done.
So,
I'm here to
this
help,
is the
certainly.
big part of Azeroth Wars, is that it's an RTS, like you guys
stand
know,
for
it's
the
Warcraft. I can train my units, I can build buildings using builders. Here, peasants, I have all my buildings. So, it's a grand scale RTS. Now, if you look at the map here on the bottom left, we can see that I have two allies. So I have the Kingdom of Quel'Thalas, the High Elves, and I have the city of Dalaran. Now, our enemies are the demons here in Northrend, if you look in the map here in the bottom left, and the Scourge here. And they have a small outpost here and here. So it's 3 versus 2. And depending where you look at the map, so if you look at the bottom here, we got yellow and dark green against green. And if you look here, we got brown and light green versus orange and red. That basically means, sorry, I'm gonna lower the volume of the game a bit. Hopefully it's not too loud. Okay, even more. Sorry, the music was quite loud. I'm actually gonna lower it here too. Okay, great. So, it's asymmetric. There's 6 teams in total in the map, and they're all fighting for dominance, but everyone has their own objectives. So, it's a macro map, which means that units train very fast. Look, if I train this footman, for once it's very inexpensive. Let me move this here so you guys can see. It's only 13 gold and it trains in about 4 seconds. Boom, 1 footman. So here, a cleric. Boom, I got my cleric. So I will be controlling large armies over large territories. And the gameplay is very fast paced because there's a lot of units. So everything is, there's a lot of movement armies. So it's a lot of macro and micro, because you still have your heroes that are extremely important. Same way as they're important in normal Warcraft, your heroes are extremely important and you should always keep them alive. Now, all of the areas on the map have unique ambiances. So here we can hear birds chirping. If you go over a city, you might hear a bell and crickets. So every part of the world has atmosphere, and yeah, so that gives the world some more flavor. Also, when you see this here, this means that this is an entrance to an instance. So here the Tomb of Sargeras with the little circle thing. So if I go here, I will go in here, and then I can find new things. So if I see here the Skulloments, I can go inside the Skulloments, which is here. And as you can see, I have a quest objective to destroy the Skulloments. So yeah, so we can go check here and try and see which one it is. Oh, actually, yeah, Shores of Northrend. Mal'Ganis Citadel lies somewhere within the Arctic Waste. In order to assault the Dreadlord, Ardas must first establish a base camp at Shore Northrend. So first I need to destroy the Skulloments. Then, if I go in my shipyards, I can research the Northrend expedition, and we'll do that now so it eventually happens. So yeah, Azeroth Wars is basically a game of conquer and quest. It's a campaign on a grand scale. So let's say we could say that this is one mission and this is another and this is another. So they're all different missions, but they're all happening in the same game. And while I'm doing them, my allies has their own mission and their own campaign, and my other ally too, and my enemies. So everyone is living in the world and conquering and completing their quests and trying to achieve victory. To win, it's simple. You either eliminate all the other factions except yours, or you control 80 control points. So around the map you can see there's control points. They give you gold. So in this game you harvest lumber like normal with a peasant, but the gold is given with control points here. See, this one is 10 gold per minute, this one here is 30. So you capture them with units around the map, and these control points will give you gold. And if you control 80 of them, which is a large part of the map, let's say 60% of the map with your team. So if I control 20, Dalaran 20, and Quel'Thalas 20, our team here, we win. And yeah, to not lose, I have these big buildings here. I'm moving this again. So these have the capital ability. So basically, when my team, among all the teammates, do not control any more capitals, we will lose as soon as we get less than 6 control points. So we always need to conquer and to move fast. And yeah, most units have upgrades like always, but a special feature are limited units. So here we have the Paladin. So the Paladins, you will recognize them in normal Warcraft, they're a hero. But in this, they are a unit. And they have a lot of skills. So they have Holy Light, Activate Divine Shield, Resurrection, and other skills. Elites always cost 90 gold, and you can only train 6 of them, and they're very important. So now I'm gonna do a little cheat just to show you around. So if I look here, the elites of Dalaran are the Kirin Tor mages here. So they have Forked Lightning, Mana Shield. If we go to Quel'Thalas, their elites are Far Striders. They have Feint, Splintering Arrows, Smoke Bombs. So every elite is a hero in normal Warcraft. And the heroes in Azeroth Wars are legendary characters. So we have Sylvanas Windrunner, and we have Arthas and Uter, and we can play as Antonidas and Jaina. So your heroes are legendary characters from throughout the history, and your elites are elite units are normal heroes. So here we have Dreadlords. So the demons here have the Dreadlords as elites, invisible Dreadlords. They still have vampiric attack, sleep, carrion swarm. And of course, we have different factions that do not exist in Melee. So now to finish this video, let's go through the factions quickly. So of course the first one is Lordaeron. They are the defenders of the Alliance, and they are really strong. They have a really strong front line, and they have casters that support that front line, so they heal with priests, and they have paladins and strong units that can take a lot of damage. you don't output a lot of damage, so you need to count on your allies like the Quel'Thalas to damage for you. So example, we have here the Quel'Thalas. So Quel'Thalas are a range faction more. They have a lot of spellcasters and other interesting units. So they have their sorceress, their priest, and they have even more advanced units like the magus, and they can unlock. They have the spellbreakers, the dragonhack riders. So they are your damage output. They also have healing, but they don't have a strong front line, so they need to output the damage from afar. They have the rangers. Let's see if I can train one quickly. The rangers are one of the strongest range unit. Here it is. Alright, then we have Dalaran. So Dalaran, unsurprisingly, is a wizard faction. They have a large amount of wizards here. So the Geomancers, the Arcanists, and the Hydromancer. They also have golems and special artilleries. They also have Jaina and Antonidas, so they're very spellcaster focused. They're a pretty tricky race to play. They're more complicated because they have a lot of spells, but they're really strong because they have a lot of flexibility. Yeah. Alright, now let's move to the Undead. Here, the Lich King and his forces. So they're heroes. They have Kel'Thuzad, of course, and they have Baron Riven there. And yeah, their strength are they are a bit of a swarm faction. They got really powerful summons. They have really strong units because early game the Legion, their demons, their allies are smaller, so their Scourge needs to be very powerful to basically conquer the North Alliance. Their elites are Death Knights, and they're very tanky, very fast, and they have really strong units like the Frostworms. Alright, moving on to the demons. So the demons here, they start, as you can see, they're invisible, and they start very secretive, and they have to help their Scourge ally to conquer the North Alliance. And if they manage to capture the book here, the Book of Medivh, or the Sunwell, they can summon the Burning Legion, and then all hell breaks loose, quite literally, with very, very powerful units as Infernals and Greater Doom Guards. Excellent. Now, and their elites, of course, are Dreadlords, same as their heroes. Alright, now we move to the south, the Dwarves, or Dawi. So the Dwarves are a very sturdy race. They got a mix of really strong melee units like their defenders and their thanes. Let's find a thane. Here it is, their thanes. So they're really, really strong frontline and a really strong backline with engineers, riflemen. Okay, so this is the plague. You see, this is a big event that's transforming all my units. So yeah, so the dwarf, they don't have a lot of magic. They only have 2 spellcasters, and they are kind of different. So here we have the engineer, and we also have the rune priest. So these are the dwarf. They're a tricky faction to play, but basically you have a strong front line, a strong back line, and they're kind of slow, but they're really strong. And they also have the best towers and defenses of all. Alright, now we move to Stormwind. So the Kingdom of the South. Unlike Lordaeron, these guys have less powerful military. See, they're more conscripts at first. Outriders, bladesmen, spearmen. But they can upgrade, they can eventually unlock, as you see, the Champions Hall. And they can upgrade their units to much more strong military units. Because it's a rebuilding nation. They just got destroyed in the Second War, so they're rebuilding. Their elites are the Stormwind Champion, extremely tanky cavalry, and their heroes, you start with Bolvard and King Varian. Alright, so this is Stormwind. They also have a lot of units. They use their big army, and they are buff faction. So both their heroes and they got units that buff other factions, other units around them. So they stack buffs, and they have a very strong standing army. Now we have the Fel Horde that come in Outland. They come from the Dark Portal, and here you get to Outland, the the Draenor, the destroyed world of the orcs. So these are the orcs that are left. They have hordes of demons that come out from portals. They have very, very strong infantry, and they are the only solo faction, so you do not have an ally. So you need to fight both the Dwarves and the Stormwind Kingdom alone. That's a pretty challenge, but of course they're really powerful. Most of their units have chaos damage. They have really strong demi-heroes like Kazakh, and really strong heroes like Magtheridon, the Pit Lord. Also, the Executioner, their elite, have insane combat stats, and this faction is a rush faction. You charge fast, your units have self-bloodlust, so they buff themselves really efficiently. They have high stats, really powerful melee units, and a lot of options. They have powerful drakes and catapults. So yeah, that's the Fel Horde. Now we move to the last continent, Kalimdor, and we start with Thrall and his Frostwolf clan. And of course his allies, which are the Taurens and the Goblins. So, the Frostwolf clan starts quite separated. So they have a small force here in the islands that need to fight the witch. Then you have the Echo Isle here. And finally you have Cairn and Gadget-san over here. So they start pretty like riffraff, and they need to kind of conquer the new continent because they just got here. So if they can defeat this center, they can unlock Thunder Bluff, which is Cairn mission, and they can pack their buildings on cuddles, so they can pack and unpack, as you can see. And they are a very nomadic faction, and basically they're a spellcaster faction, a bit like Dalaran, but they're very, very sturdy. So they resurrect their Taurens, they heal them with the Spirit Walkers here. They have Healing Surge and Ancestral Spirit. So they have a front line of Taurens that will never falter, and you have your spellcasters that buff them on the back. They're really fun faction with the Witch Doctors and the Trolls Headhunters. So yeah, that's the Frostwolf clan. Allied with them is the Warsong Clan, led by Grommash. So the Warsong Clan is much more industrial. They like cutting the forest, and they build their civilization. They start quite strong, but they only have one hero, once again, because they just came in the continent. So they need to go meet like the Brewmaster, and they need to conquer the trolls here and summon their demigods. So they need to build up their heroes. Their elites are the yes, here it is, the Korkron elite, very strong, one of the strongest melee infantry. And the Warsong are a melee race, very aggressive. They have a lot of speed buff to get you to your enemy. So they're yeah, they're a really aggressive faction. The Frostwolf elite, just I didn't show it, are the Farseers. Farseers have Chain Lightning and Farsight and Healing Wave. Very strong elite because you can really heal your front line and stop people from destroying it. Then we have the Sentinels. The Sentinels are the woman warriors of the Night Elves. So this faction is about mobility and hit and run. They don't have any melee units, so the Huntress is their tank, their front line, but it still has range as the melee Huntress. Their basic unit is an archer, unlike a footman. They have their elites are the Priestess of the Moon, and they have a speed buff around them. They have Hippogriff's Rider and Chimera. Their casters are Hunters and Priestess of Elune, so they're a very swift faction. They need to move fast, and even their siege weapons are pretty quick. So yeah, they also start pretty separated. So they have 2 bases in the south and 2 in the north. So they need to kind of unite their bases together and fight the invader. And finally we have the Druids. The Druids from the forest, that their goal is to protect the world tree. So they have all the creatures from nature. So we have Fandral, Staghelm, and Cenarios, and you can go awaken Malfurion at the Barrow Den with the horn. Their units are Treants, like here they have Treants, they have Dryads, they have the Mountain Giants, so they're really nature faction. They have green dragons, fairy dragons, and their elites are Keeper of the Grove, with powerful spells like Nature's Fury, Haste, and Cyclone. So this faction is extremely durable. They're not tanky per se, but they last long. so they have very strong healing over time. Let's say they're through the Talon, they summon bulbs from the ground that heal, so they last long, and the longer the fight goes, the stronger they get. So yeah, these are the 12 factions, all fighting for dominance over this world, and there's loads of objective like bosses like Ragnaros and Khotun and creeps, and there's other events that I'll keep I'll keep secret for now, but you can go to the Tomb of Sargeras and meet Gul'dan's Remain and get the Eye of Sargeras powerful artifacts. So this is Azeroth Wars, a great battle of conquer, conquest, and quests. It's unique. There's very little games like this, and especially not only in Warcraft 3 but in general, it's a very unique experience because it's so asymmetrical. There's 6 different teams. It's like you're playing a campaign all in one game of 1 hour, let's say, and all your opponents are also playing their own campaign. So it's not just playing the computer. Everyone has their story and is living in the world. So I hope you guys will try it. Links in the descriptions for our Discord server. Join in. We are glad to help and all that. We organize games. You can see there's bots that show you the hosted games. You have the changelogs for the new version. You can participate in the design of the map with us because we like discussing with our player and getting as much feedback from them and improving the map as much as possible. So I hope I'll see you there, and soon we will have a matchmaking and ladder. So I hope you stick with us for that with Warcraft 3 Champions. Links also in the description for Warcraft 3 Champions. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like, it's great. It helps out. It helps out making more videos. And if you want to just have more videos about Azeroth Wars and maybe even Total War, other grand strategy games of the sort, I might do that too. But for now, it's mostly Warcraft, Azeroth Wars. So feel free to subscribe. And thank you very much for watching and staying until the end. And I'll catch you guys later, hopefully in Azeroth Wars.